people like a couple seconds to join. We'll give people a couple seconds to join. What was I going to say? Oh, my desk is like covered in Starbucks gift cards right now because that's like a very common teacher gift. So I get them a frequent amount. And I don't really ever go to Starbucks because of a lot of reasons. But I realized like me not spending these gift cards is helping them. So I like got their little app, which I like used to get Starbucks all the time. Like 2017 to like 2020, I was like one of those people. Not like I would talk about it all the time, but I was getting it every day. But anyway, I realized I was like, I need to put these in their little fuck ass app and redeem the money that's already been spent on me. And like, oh, here, I want to adjust this a little bit. I do like the drinks. Like sometimes they have good stuff, but it's just so expensive that it's not something I'm willing to buy. And also like, I don't really love their corporate ethics, but when someone gives me a gift card, I am going to use it. And then we're going to move that up. There we go. My like fabulous designer makes this so good, and I feel like I like botch it every single time. Okay, hey Barbies, first time chat, trauma response 1. What is up? How are we tonight? My Twitch numbers have been like super low recently, but my YouTube has been a lot higher. Interesting. I dropped my Physics 2 course today because it interfered with my stream. I'm joking. The professor was crazy. And sometimes this life is just a happy little accident like that. So we really have so much to talk about. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I also just like don't have that much to say. I went to work today. That was a lot. Because like, you know, after a long weekend, you're just kind of like, I guess that's really all I have to say. Somehow in my district, everything is broken all the time. Like I always come in and they're like, oh, this system is down. This is broken. And I'm like, okay. Twitch is non-functional on TV. That might be why. I don't know. I think it depends on the TV, but that's a good point. People just may be busy. This is the first stream back in a while. Know the topic. No, I mean like the numbers have just like shifted from one to the other. I don't even, people are always busy, but anyway. So if you have no idea who this person is, tonight's actually perfect. I really, really think that like, how do I explain this? I knew that most of you were not going to know this person. Let's do a poll real quick while we're waiting for all of our friends to join. Okay. Poll. Do you know Meghan? I kind of picked her because I was like, she's such an interesting being and no one really knows who she is because she's not like super that intense of like fame. Only seen, no, nothing. There we go. But she's a lot has happened to her. When I searched up Meghan King on Google, your Instagram post promoting the stream was in the overview. That's spooky, but it's also probably because like your phone is tracking that you like me. So your phone is like, she'll like this. Assuming you're a woman, if not, whatever. Just finished VPR for the first time and feel empty inside. Real. Yeah, so 95% of people 96% of people do not know who this person is, which is perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I'll let the poll run out and we'll get into it. Literally watching her seasons of Real Housewives of the OC right now. If you are in the early days of Real Housewives of Orange County or like the mid days, this will have some spoilers in it. Proceed with caution. I don't spoil everything. I only talk about a few things because honestly, she was only on the Real Housewives for a couple seasons and like so much other crazy shit has happened to her that like it was just it. We only talk about a few things, so I'll leave your judgment with you. 97% of you do not know who this is. Perfect. Perfect. You see how excited I am. So who is this woman? Meghan King was born September 26, 1984. She is an American reality TV personality and a model. She was on The Real Housewives of Orange County from 2015 to 2017 for 3 seasons and has subsequently appeared as a guest. During her time on the show, she was married to a famous baseball player, Jim Edmonds. That's kind of like a TLDR. You've never heard of her. So let's get into her childhood. Her childhood is like actually relatively normal. I know I just kind of said like her life is crazy, but her childhood's relatively normal from what I have seen. Maybe they have skeletons in their closet, but they're not out there. And can I just say, doing this stream was very hard because she's not that famous. So I had to dig deep, but it's always worth it. It's just always worth it when I do that. Like I really feel like when I'm in there like 4 hours deep, like deep in Reddit, deep on like random county property records, I'm like, this is journalism right here. Like, this is journalism in action. Like, if it was on Wikipedia, we don't need to be talking about it because everyone's talking about it. Where I need to be is in Missouri property records. That's where I need to be. That's where what I want to know is. It's in the Missouri property records. So she was born in St. Louis, Missouri. She has 2 siblings, a sister and a brother. Her brother RJ King is a professional model. One of her sisters, Julie, is a professional or was a professional soccer player. And then her other sister, Caitlin, was on The Amazing Race. So like very much a hype-ass family. Like they are a hype-ass family. Not a ton of info about her childhood or family. Couldn't really find what her parents do for a living. Couldn't really find like any traumatic stories. It just kind of seemed like they were a really blonde family with athletic children that are beautiful. In St. Louis, Missouri. That's the background. Hope you feel caught up. I don't know if this is her dad, but her dad's name is Kevin and this guy's name is Kevin. And this guy seems rich. It's giving rich background because like she was in like a nicer circle in Missouri. She went to college out of state. Like it was giving at least like upper middle class. You know what I mean? Ideal place for a blonde athletic family to be. Yeah, so like you understand the vibes wholeheartedly, you're in. So early in her career, she worked as a model in Milan and in the US. She said, I modeled shortly in Milan and I hated it. I didn't speak the language there. There weren't smartphones and I was alone. I felt like I was taken advantage of as a woman. I might go to a casting that was for a legit person and a legit brand. Then I get there and the guy is totally hitting on me and I'm like, really? You just got me here to hit on me and I'm trying to make money and I'm here for the grind. I'm here for the grind of modeling in Milan. Modeling is hard. Like you have to take rejection well, which I do not. So I admire them for that. Here's a picture of her first modeling job in 2004. This is in a magazine. So yeah, that's like she's a hot person. Like she's tall, she's blonde, she's athletic. This is, she said, pretending to be a model. This is a little bit later. She walked in a runway show. But yeah, she is technically a model. She has done modeling work. Meghan had a much more positive experience modeling in the US. She said in the US it was great. I loved it. I only a few jobs I did, like Abercrombie, so much fun, Americana. I did Cosmopolitan magazine. The very first time I ever went to New York, it was so glamorous. The shoot, like everything was so cool. I think a couple of other things, but nothing big. So I would say, if you were in Cosmopolitan, you were in an Abercrombie ad, you can call yourself a model. Like those are very real companies. Those are like pretty sought after spots that not many people are getting. So I would call her a successful model. She doesn't say that about herself, but I'll say it about her. Her brother is like a super successful model. So Meghan's time as a model turned out to be nothing like she expected. She said, I wanted to get into modeling because easy money and glam, like hello, that's why everyone does. She said, and it's neither one. Turns out it's not glamorous or easy money unless you're like my brother, and then you're like that asshole everybody wants to be. If she said that about anyone that was not her brother, I'd be like, that's a horrible thing to say about another model. Like if she was like, unless you're like my friend, like I'd be like, it's giving jealous, it's giving insane. But that's a sister to her brother. That's a sister to her brother. I'm sure she like recognizes his achievements or whatever. So Meghan is referring to her younger brother at that. Like you can talk shit about your younger brother. That's absolutely fine. Who is a major supermodel represented by Wilhelmina Models. Very, 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 very prestigious modeling agency. I know that if you watch America's Next Top Model, they were like, Wilhelmina. He was on the cover of Vogue Italy, and he's worked with Tommy Hilfiger and Michael Kors, but Meghan said she can't take any credit for her baby bro's success. He saw my experience, and I was like, stay out of modeling, and he was like, oh my God, yeah, and then he was like, but I'm gonna do it, and he did, and he's blown it out of the water, so I'm so glad he did. So, like, that's nice. So, that's a little bit of her lore. This is from a Bravo article, so it's really corny. And if you ask Meghan if she's ever modeled today, she would probably say no. I'm a fake model, not a real model. I never really modeled. I dabbled in modeling. I didn't deserve to be called a model. I didn't work hard enough or long enough or have enough good jobs to call myself a real model would be taking away from people like my brother. So I think that that's like very humble of her. I'm going to call her a model because she's done shit and been with major brands. Megan LaFlame, thank you for subscribing. So I tried to find pictures of her in college, couldn't find them. Could not find them. She said that she was relieved when she left modeling and decided to concentrate on getting a college education. She said, when I stepped away from the industry, I was really focused on my studies at Ole Miss, and I became a 4.0 student after that. I was really focused. I was like, I don't want to work for my face. I better work for my brains, so I got to make it happen. I think that's very pragmatic. She tried modeling and kind of hated it, and then she was like, well, let me go to college that my parents are going to pay for and do that instead. Great. She got a bachelor's degree in marketing in 2007, and then she worked as a sales rep for a pathology software firm, and then went on to become the director of sales for Sweat Cosmetics. So she has, like, a very normal life, I would say. Like, yeah, she modeled, yeah, she went to Italy, but other than that, like, this is a really, oh my God, y'all know I'm so nosy. The kids that I've talked to you about that ride the bikes, well, there's the one kid that I usually see. There's another smaller kid, and he almost fell because the other kid, like, ran fast or rode past him too fast. No, at least he stopped and turned around. So anyway, she got her bachelor's, and then she had, like, relatively normal jobs. I'm really impressed so far, which makes me worried for whatever is about to happen. Correct instinct with my stream. So she had a very brief marriage in her 20s, which I think is chic. I think that's fine. Have a brief marriage in your 20s. Really, who cares? Glow Sparks, thanks for subscribing. The 13th Ring, thank you for subscribing. And Megan LaFlame, thank you for subscribing. So she got married in 2007 to a guy named Brad McDill. He was a lawyer. I get it. Like, you went to college, working is hard, and a lawyer wanted to marry you. So, like, who am I to judge? You know what I mean? Is 4 years brief? I guess you're right. It's not that brief. You're right. So they called it quits 4 years later, legally separating in October 2011. She said, I was too young. I didn't even know myself. I wanted to be like my parents' perfect marriage. I just thought I was going to have the same love story because why not? I've done everything else like my parents, so why wouldn't it work out? That's so fucking real. This is why I picked her, because she's literally so real. One thing that people were calling her out for is she kind of like erased her first husband. I did not know that she had been married until I started doing this stream, and I had like watched her on the show and seen a fair amount of her stuff. But she never really talks about it, and she posted this thing on Facebook and said, this is the first house I owned where I actually felt like a grown-up. It was 2009, I was 24, and I financed the entirety of the purchase. But she was married at that time, and she you don't have to talk about you being married, but the way she talked about buying this house like she was a single person, maybe she did finance it and he didn't help, but like, I don't know, I just thought it was kind of funny. And also, I kind of feel like he did, like if he lived there too, you know what I mean? I would too erase a first husband. No, literally. So like you didn't have kids with him. It was a 4-year marriage. You got divorced, whatever. Like I don't hate her for not bringing it up, but I think it's hella funny how people are like, she's erasing Brad. Brad McDill must be a figment of our imagination. Whatever. So she made her first appearance in a workplace reality series called Resale Royalty. She was in all 10 episodes working at a fashion resale boutique. So I guess she left her sales positions to work at a fashion resale boutique. To be on television, I don't know. The series was produced by fashion designer Rachel Zoe's production. Her engagement to Jim Edmonds and Search for a Wedding Dress was also on TV in 2014 on Say Yes to the Dress. So her first 2 TV appearances were like pretty back to back. This is her on Resale Royalty. I could not find any clips, but I did find like their cast pictures online. So you can see Resale Royalty season 1, pictured Meghan King. That's her. Is this like Plato's Closet? No, I think it's like fancy. Like it's like if Plato's Closet was just designer things, is what I think it is. So Mystery Man enters the chat. After she got divorced from Brad whoever. She began dating again when she was 26. She told the New York Post, page 6, that she was in a relationship with an unnamed man in 2012 when she met Jim Edmonds, who would go on to be her second husband. I was dating this other guy when I met Jimmy. There was nothing romantic. I was in a full-blown relationship. The TV personality Meghan apparently split from her mystery boyfriend in January 2013 and then quickly started seeing Jim. Of course I have the clip from Say Yes to the Dress. We are going to see it. I think it's in here. I hope it is. It's supposed to be. So, April 2013, Meghan King and Jim Edmonds start dating. In an interview, she shared that they met through another man she was dating. So, I guess Jim Edmonds was her ex-boyfriend's friend. It's fine. Just say that. Be a big girl. After they split up, Jim Edmonds asked her out. So, he's a bad friend, and that's not your fault. You know what I'm saying? He was waiting in the wings. He said he had to wait for an acceptable amount of time to pass before he asked me out on a date because he didn't want to have bad blood in his group of friends. So that's how they met, which is fine. Look how happy they are. So happy. And this is her on Say Yes to the Dress in 2014. They got engaged. Surprise.
Former model Meghan is coming to Kleinfeld via St. Louis as a final attempt to find her perfect dress.
I've tried on dresses and I feel stuck right now. I just want to find the dress.
She's really pretty.
Hi.
Wow. Hi, Meghan.
Hi.
Lisa.
Nice to meet
Welcome
you,
to
Lisa.
Kleinfeld.
Today I brought Carter, Lindsay, Cheryl, and Genevieve.
Wait, this is critically important. I grew up with the Real Housewives of Orange County kids. I remember when they were auditioning for season 1, it was going to be called Behind the Golden Gates. It was Behind the Gates. Or something gross like that because they all lived in a gated community. Can you please tell me everything you know? Email it to me and I will literally do whatever you want. I think she and Barbara would get along before Barbara had her drugs. I was thinking she's kind of like Barbara Hutton coded.
Married in Bora Bora.
Oh.
My wedding is going to be in Bora Bora. Just the two of us. Then we're going to have a reception in Palm Springs.
Tell me a little bit about how you want to look.
Something that's like flowy or free. I want it to feel beautiful and natural.
Do you have a budget in mind?
Under $5,000.
Okay.
My fiance is paying for the dress, so I don't want to take advantage.
Just kidding. I would never spend that much.
Tell me about your fiance.
My fiance's name is Jim Edmonds. He played for the Cardinals the second half of his career. He was known for making really incredible catches, and that's kind of what he was famous for.
That is the most beautiful ring I have ever seen.
That's
Jimmy's
expensive.
best friend said that the night that Jimmy met me, he called him and said,
She said wedding in
"I'm
Bora
not gonna
Bora,
see
then
the girl that I'm
reception
gonna
in
marry.
Palm
He's
Springs.
my world. He's my rare love. Our souls just fit. It's incredible.
Okay.
Flowy, fabulous, and
I'm happy
form-fitting
for
is
you.
what Lisa is seeking for Meghan's first picks.
I want to find something almost like personal, very like intimate for the two of them. What I brought you are dresses that I think are going to work beautifully on a beach. Care where we start? You want to
No.
pick? Okay.
I don't care.
I'm going to pick.
So Lisa takes charge and puts Meghan in a boat neck satin slip gown.
I don't know if I like seeing my hip bones and my abs, you know?
Oh, my hip bones and my abs. Bitch. I kid.
Okay, ladies, we're in dress number 1.
Proof you can have a wedding and a reception on different days.
Turn around and face the ladies.
I don't like it. You look lumpy out here
lumpy.
and jetty because of your hips coming out. And like it just they're just jutting out like
Jetty? Jetty? Is that even a word?
I've never heard anyone say, oh, I can see my bones and my abs. I don't like it.
The general feel is my grandma's nightgown, and I don't want to see.
No, she said the wedding in Bora Bora was going to be private, just the two of them. And then they're going to have a reception in Palm Springs. Bora Bora is very far. Very, very far and hard to get to.
My abs on my wedding day.
Meghan is shopping for her Bora Bora beachfront I-dos to World Series champion Jim Edmonds. Dress one hugged in all the wrong places.
I don't want to see.
Okay, you get the point. She was on Say Yes to the Dress. We have too much to talk about. So they, like she said, were going to do the wedding in Bora Bora, but they ended up getting married in St. Louis instead. And then there's the dress. You can see a very pretty dress. I don't know if that's where she bought it. But in 2014, they got married. Here's some more of the wedding photos. So many toxic family members on Say Yes to the Dress. No, for fucking real. It's like getting out of hand. Fairy Charlie, thank you for subscribing. I was grading. Boring, but congratulations on being done, hopefully. So, this is the part I will throw some shade to. I really, really judge people that get married and don't invite their children to the wedding. So her being like, oh, we're going to do it private in Bora Bora. Were they not going to bring his 4 children? I think that that's just such a red flag. Because I feel like, and like, if you're someone that's marrying someone with children, congratulations, you have a big heart, bigger than mine. Like, but if I was to do that, I feel like you really need to be clear with the kids. Like, I'm cool with you. Like, I might be marrying your dad, but like, me and you are good. Like, I want you to be included. You're a part of this. So just her being like, oh, it's going to be just the 2 of us in Bora Bora. What about, you know, like, I'm just, her, you know? So what I do want to level set on is that he is twice divorced and she is marrying him within 18 months of meeting him / dating him. So I guess not meeting him because she was dating that other guy. Sorry, I burped. That was embarrassing. But within 18 months of starting to date him. You know what I mean? Possible hot take, private weddings shouldn't be child-free if you have children. Unless your kids are, like, grown. Like, I feel like if your kids are grown, do whatever you want. But when your kids are little, like his are, like, you're not going to bring them? So, yeah, like, I am slightly concerned. So let's get into it. He is a bit of a walking red flag. So he has 2 daughters from his first marriage to Leanne Horton. He has a son and a daughter from his second marriage, which lasted from 2008 to 2014, and he married Meghan in October of 2014. So, like, pretty immediately after he got divorced. Very successful baseball player, as you will see. He played baseball for a very long time. Impressive. But he waited so long to start dating her due to abiding by the hashtag bro code. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't, look at his fucking face. Like, do you think the divorce was finalized? That's what I mean. Like, I think the divorce got finalized so that he could marry Meghan. Like, so James Patrick Edmonds, born 1970, so they are 14 years apart, which, like, you're all adults, do whatever you want. Especially because, like, I think, so how old was she when they met? She was in her late 20s when they met, and yeah, so I guess whatever. He is well known for his defensive abilities. He's a professional baseball player, center fielder. He has earned 8 Golden Glove awards. He is also a prolific hitter. Blah, 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 blah. He is affectionately known as Jimmy Baseball. That is the stupidest fucking nickname I have heard in my life. What do you mean your nickname is Jimmy Baseball? Oh yeah, we love him. That's Jimmy Baseball. They're 14 years apart. Jimmy Baseball. That sounds like a nickname that, like, a child or someone who's very new to the English language would give you. Jimmy Baseball. That is the way a 4-year-old talks. Or Jimmy Ball Game? That's worse. Jimmy from the ball game. You can't be that good at baseball to have that nickname. So, in 2014, Bravo announced that King would join the main cast of The Real Housewives of Orange County for the show's 10th season. This is a little promo for season 10. My girl, Vicki Gunvalson, is here. She is present with us tonight. Maybe not literally, but spiritually. The more I learn about this man, the worse I feel. And right, so far, you're like, oh, Meghan seems like an incredibly normal person. Meghan seems just like a woman who's normal, like living her life in St. Louis. So this is the Orange County season 10 intro, just for us to enter the Real Housewives universe. I love how she's serving underboob in the promo. She said, I am a young ass bitch. Because everyone else in the cast, I'm not going to use the O word, but they are like established women. She was by far the youngest on the cast.
No one's life is perfect, but mine is pretty close.
Her kids are so little.
When life gives you lemons, put 9 in a bowl.
Oh, Shannon. Shannon!
Boldness comes at a cost, and I'm willing to pay.
Now that I'm the OC, it's a whole new ballgame.
I'm the OG of the OC.
Vicky!
Everyone else is just a copy.
That's the gate behind the gates. So, buckle in. So, King's first episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County aired in 2015. In her introduction to the series, King explained that she and Edmonds moved to Orange County to be near his 2 eldest daughters' mother, who was sick. She did end up passing away. Rest in peace. She seems like a nice, normal person. So basically she was saying like, yeah, we lived in St. Louis, but his kid's mom is sick, so we're going to be near so they can spend time with their mom, is basically why she lives there. Because I know you're like, where the hell did Orange County come from? She also discussed this in the beginning of her relationship with Jim Edmonds on the show. She said, I promised myself I would never marry a man with children. Jimmy has 4 kids. I would never marry a man who is more than 11 years older than me. He's 14 years older than me. And I would never marry a professional athlete. I broke all my rules because Jim Edmonds asked me on a date. He's not like, for him, like, come on, like, for him, okay. It's just, I don't love it. I do not love it. I do not love that it, fire poetry, like, it's concerning. I'm concerned. So before we get into specific things, Meghan, he played baseball, but was he really a catch? Strong contender for chat of the night. Strong contender for chat of the night. So what was I about to say? Before we get into her specific like things and arguments and things like that, I just want to show you a compilation so you can see her vibe, because her vibe on the show is literally, I loved her on the show. Like, I thought she was like an incredible addition. I was sad she wasn't on for longer, and I wish we had time to go through more clips of her because there's so many iconic moments that she stayed on everyone's fucking neck. People would try and lie and gaslight, and she'd be like, well, actually, I called. And like, they called her like Investigator Meghan because she would always call everyone out on their shit. And it was just really fucking funny. And I wish we had time to watch more of it. But here's a compilation before we get into her specific investigations.
And what's a choice to make because of that? Well, like, maybe you just do the right thing. What I'm trying to say is it doesn't make sense to me because they're not trying to push anything on you. They're just trying to be a normal person.
Well,
so
but
why
you're
can't
not,
you just like
you don't
be around
believe in
that?
Jesus. You don't understand my faith. So of course it's not going to make sense to you. I don't want it. It doesn't need to.
I don't know. I just think you should use your brain and not have the Bible tell you what's right and wrong all the time.
I get it while he's getting chemo put in his arm.
Wait, you guys said that Vicky told you that she had never been to a doctor appointment. People are so bird-brained and have blinders on, you cannot see the world for what it is. I did research and I called the doctor that works with Susie, and I got the office on the phone. And I said I was referred by a friend and I have cancer. People I love have cancer. And if you're gonna fake that in order to get sympathy or whatever the hell you want, I'm gonna get to the bottom of it the best I can.
Another chat of the night. Girl boss gatekeep, marry a geriatric baseball man.
CT/PET scans. Shannon, you have these eyes. You have judgy eyes. Shannon has judgy eyes. She doesn't like that I'm doing Botox, and she has some reason for it, and so she's giving me judgy eyes. The real big eye. You can see the whole iris.
Every single person in this room can stir up. Every single one of us can. Yeah. Every single one of us has.
Like you tonight. She didn't start
like me tonight, I'm defending myself. This is when I walk out. Because you know what? I have enough going on.
Storm.
Excuse me?
Just walk out. That's what you've done to me before.
I don't know where she's coming. Shut up. You don't even want to go here. You don't even want to go.
This compilation has me viewing her favorably. Yeah.
You know what? You know what, Meghan? What?
You told me that someone gave you my phone number and she didn't give you my phone number. Oh, come on. That's not even... I have a private cell phone number that not many people have.
Congratulations. Don't try to talk to me about your private phone number, Shannon. You're not some big to-do, all right? Who says I have a
She's
private
gorgeous.
cell phone number? Who do you think you are? Like Queen of England or something? The point is, I understand you might have felt like that. Okay, my face is here, not there. Vicky's a bitch.
So she is just like very direct. I really like her. She's absolutely beautiful. She really does not let people like get her hyped. Like you can see she's not like raising her voice and things like that. So I'm going to read you some summaries of her in season 10, and then we'll get into some specifics. So joining the 10th season, she is the third wife of baseball superstar Jim Edmonds. Edmonds is described as sexy and opinionated, as well as a blonde bombshell. Shannon Bedore finds herself in drama with Edmonds over an unwanted phone call because basically Meghan like asked around, got Shannon's number and called her and was like, hey, we're on the show together. Do you want to do this thing? And Shannon was like, I did not know who that was. You cannot call me from random numbers. And she was like, what the fuck? Like, she's giving actually, Ellen, that's not true. That's her vibe, very much so. Meghan Edmonds is raising her stepdaughter because her husband's former wife, Leanne Edmonds Horton, is ill with cancer. Edmonds struggles with the idea of being too much of a parent or not enough and ending up as the friend. There were a lot of times on the show where her daughter was like not doing well, skipping school, sneaking out, stuff like that. And she was like, I don't want to yell at her because she's my stepdaughter and we're like low-key close in age. And then she was also like, I am the only one here because Jim Edmonds was like always away working because he was like working on TV and an announcer for the Cardinals and stuff like that. So he was like always in Missouri working and she was always home with her stepkids. So like it was just like a rough emotional dynamic that she was in. I really felt for her with that. And after filming the season, while the season was airing, unfortunately, Leanne passed away, which is very sad. And I really feel bad for her kids. It would be really hard to lose your mom. And it would be especially really hard to lose your mom if your dad was Jim Edmonds. You know what I mean? I think that makes it worse. If you watched my Vicki Gunvalson stream, some of this will be familiar to you. We're not going to go into every detail of it because not all of it is relevant to Meghan. It was really, really fucking hard to stay on topic with this. But one of the major plot lines of Meghan King, or Meghan Edmonds at this time, Vicki Gunvalson and her boyfriend's Brooks Ayers deal with his diagnosis of cancer after he moves in with her. Key point. Throughout the season, Ayers' cancer diagnosis and the integrity of it played a huge part. It all began when Tamra Judge arranged a lunch with her psychic, who informs Tamra Judge, Heather Dubrow, and Meghan Edmonds that he does not believe that Brooks is ill. He's like, yeah, I don't see cancer for him. I don't see that. And this is literally just a random psychic. But that's what got it started. I forgot to delete my little citation things. So throughout the season, accusations and speculations fly around Orange County, causing all the women to be involved, as well as Vicki Gunvalson's daughter, Brianna, was like, I don't think he has cancer. Tamra is forced to choose a side when her loyalty to Vicki Gunvalson is questioned. However, Tamra refuses to be made to look like a fool. The credibilities of Heather Dubrow and her husband are put on the line because they're brought in as Brooks' alibi, because he was like, yeah, I talked to Heather and Terry about it. And Terry Dubrow is a very, 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 very accomplished surgeon. So like really knows his shit. He has his own show for doing surgery things and was a very successful surgeon before being famous. So he was kind of like, you told me you did. I didn't see shit. You're not going to say that I gave you a medical thing when I didn't, because I'm a really, really well-established doctor, and I don't know what the fuck you have going on here. So Shannon and Vicki's friendship breaks down when Shannon's loyalty is questioned by Vicki, even after Shannon had supported the couple. So it was like just a fucking hot mess express. Shannon remains loyal until Vicki is caught speaking badly about Shannon's marriage, and Shannon's husband had an affair, and she was like public about it, and they were trying to work through it. They didn't. Meghan Edmonds constantly questions what she believes is a lie. She has knowledge in the situation due to her husband's former wife currently dealing with and dying of cancer. So she was like, oh, that's not with it. Like, she knows the details. That psychic is good. Can we get a referral? I wonder who her psychic is. I'm looking for a new one after today's events. More like today's lack of events. Meghan Edmonds also endeavors to uncover the truth through research of clinics. So she starts calling places and asking, hey, do you do these scans? Do you do this? I have cancer. What would you recommend? Like, she's literally investigating the fuck out of this, and even contacted Brooks' ex-girlfriends Like, she was in on this. So Gunvalson publicly dresses Meghan Edmonds down when she learns of her actions, but Meghan is undeterred and continues investigating. And things come to a head in the final episode of the season, in which all of the women confront Vicky, and they're like, we think he's lying to you. Like, they weren't saying she was in on it. They were saying, like, we think he's scamming everyone, and you're part of the one being scammed here. And she goes, I'm being nailed to the cross like Jesus was, and I did nothing wrong. That's what that's from. And then at the reunion concluding the series, Vicky reveals she does not believe he had cancer and that she was lied to. Also during the reunion, Meghan Edmonds reveals that Leanne had passed away. And then during Brooks Tells All, a special hosted by Andy Cohen, Brooks reveals that him and Vicky are no longer together. So this will become relevant later. Okay, there was no good time to put this, but this is during an argument about Meghan investigating and things like that, and it will become very relevant later, okay?
Honey, I'm your wife. We don't need to talk this thing.
So blurry, sorry.
Jim, talk to me in 5 years when you're divorced. Yeah, she's not gonna last another 4 years.
Jim is a respected businessman, respected baseball player. What he's doing with Meghan, I have no idea. I just don't see this being a lifelong marriage.
Don't ever put me in that situation again. No. Did you say, I can do whatever I want? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I can do whatever I want.
Yes, I can. I can do whatever I want, so zip it. So I will agree with Vicky, except for the part about Jim being a respected businessman. Vicky has a lot of internalized misogyny. That's something that we've just accepted about her, unfortunately. Not accepted that it's okay, but accepted, and like, I don't think she's changing. So yeah, I disagree with her being like, why is he with Meghan? Because Meghan's obviously a catch. But peep what she said. So this is a much longer video than we normally watch. Much longer than we usually watch, but we just needed to see it. This is just too important. It's far too important.
This is Brooks's third time he's being diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. He had it back in 2009, then it came back in 2012, but the chemo hasn't been fixing it.
I may be one of those that probably didn't respond to chemo, so I'm pretty excited about him taking on my case, and I'm tired of feeling yucky.
Right.
I don't know. Here's the thing. Maybe I'm picking up the energy people would think about that. I have a wishy-washy perspective on that.
On what?
So that's why on the cancer issue, it's just wishy-washy to me. I just don't see it.
So he doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
You don't see cancer at all?
Salads.
I don't know. I can't imagine someone would do that. Who would fake cancer? I just don't have a place in my brain for that concept.
Why would somebody do that?
Why wouldn't you pursue the most aggressive form of treatment in order to live?
But what is the...
Because one of the big, issues... Sorry, I'm rolling a tennis ball at my foot. That's why I'm laying like this. One of the big issues with Brooks is that he was like, oh, I don't want to get chemo. And they were like, if you have cancer, why are you refusing to get chemo for it? And he's like, oh, well, the kind I have, chemo doesn't work for. But they were like, that's really weird. It was just, that was a sticking point, was his refusal of chemo.
Oh my God, do you really think he wants to die, Meghan? Are you being that ignorant?
Chemo is not a secret. Cancer treatments are not a secret. You talk about them. So by her just saying, you don't care about him, that's a deflection. She's trying to get me to respond now on a totally different subject so that I look like the bad person.
And when she looks across me and goes, what are you going to do if he dies? Oh, you know what? I would be one sorry, lonely person because he's my best friend. How dare her question his health care? It's disgusting to me. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to see her ever again.
If he has cancer again, I'll take you down.
See, I just want him to kick this. Okay. And there is no medical evidence at all that resveratrol does anything.
To do,
Did you do research
on
it? You're not going to get involved in it.
You're not going to get involved in it. Shut up. You don't even want to go there.
Down.
You don't even want to go there with
You're
me.
just an old woman who's pissed off and bitter at the world.
You know
So
what?
you shut up.
I'm hearing things that you're sharing with other people. I'm trying to figure out what your motivation is by sharing things about a psychic that I don't have cancer, I'm faking cancer, my treatment alternative, and I'm trying to figure out what your motivation is. I'm hearing things that you reached out to an ex-girlfriend last night. It breaches my boundaries by reaching out to people from my past, quite frankly, and it's odd to me. It's you're gonna take something from a blog and reach out to somebody. It's kind of nuts.
The fact that Meghan reached out to...
Because she was reading a blog about him faking cancer, and someone in the comments was like, I used to date him, he made the same lie with me, he's known for being a liar. And then she saw that commenter was from the same town as one of her friends from college. So she called her friend from college and was like, do you know this lady? And got the lady's number and then called her and was like, hey, I saw what you put online about Brooks and I just wanted to hear what you had to say. Like, she is literally unmatched.
Ex-girlfriend.
She was right, but bold.
What do I have to do? Get a restraining order against this girl?
Why are you reaching out to his ex-girlfriend? Jim, do you think that's odd?
I don't really know what's going on.
Of course it's odd. She reached out to his ex-girlfriend.
Of course it's odd.
Don't contact people in my past, my family. I mean, I'm worried you're going to contact my kids on Twitter and my parents to find out. That's crazy.
He lied on national
I haven't been
television.
the only one asking questions.
I'm trying to process all this. If I even question Vicky and ask her, does Brooks really have cancer? She's gonna freak out. So I don't know what to do.
Yeah. I'll tell you why he lied. My theory. I think that she says it in here.
She makes my ass tired.
What? She makes her ass tired?
I straight up asked Brooks, I was like, because we were talking about like my marriage and how my marriage was attacked and why the hell would that happen? Like, and then I said, wait a minute, Brooks, like, I just have to ask you this. Did you tell Tamara that you told Jimmy at the hockey game we were married for 4 months and only 2 of them had been good? He said, no, never said that. Consider your source. I go, what do you mean by that? And he goes, it wasn't me that said that.
Brooks said, consider your source?
Yeah, but I said, what does that mean?
Listen, stop. See, you have. Stop.
What happened?
I love how she's talking to him.
Because I'm asking you to.
Okay.
Wait. All these girls are talking about it. I'm keeping my mouth shut, and then he goes after me? Game on, dude. Where's Brooks?
It wasn't.
Where's Brooks?
Hey, don't do that.
No, where's Brooks?
Where's Brooks?
The only supporter here?
It was me that said it to you.
Consider the source?
It was me that said it.
I totally
It was
agree
me
with
that
that.
said it to you, not Brooke.
I understand that.
Babe, I talked to Tamara. I apologized for leaving her party because I was mad at you. I thought you were standing up for Vicky when really you were just trying to diffuse the situation.
Everybody needs to stay quiet while we go through this. I never asked your wife.
I think she was overstepping her boundaries, but she's trying to help.
Sorry about pulling you in again.
It's all right.
Go in the other room. I'm having all this weird stuff going on. I don't know what's going on. Vicky is clearly angry and she's upset. And she's placing all of it towards Tamara and Meghan. And the truth is, we are all having the same conversations about Brooks and his health. And she needs to know.
Can we cut the cake, Aries people, or are we just gonna throw it in the pool?
Just a minute. We're
Throw
going
it
to
in
throw
the
everyone
pool?
in the pool and get
No. It's a
electrocuted.
perfectly good cake.
What is going on? I have
faking
always been a
cancer is
supporter of
crazy.
Brooks. There has been conversations about Brooks' treatment and why won't he talk about it and why is this and that and the other thing. I cannot speak for any of these women. I don't want to be in a whole big gang up conspiracy thing, but I have talked about Brooks. I'm going to tell you why. And we were at Cut Fitness that day and Brooks said who his doctor was.
I'm taking a new blast of antioxidants. It's a pretty cool story. You might know this doctor. You're the first people to tell you sometimes.
Because I got treated by that doctor. I know this doctor. I went to this doctor for cellulite treatments right after the twins were born. Here are all my thought processes. Number one, is Brooks being duped? Because I'm sorry, you don't go from like trying to cure cellulite to curing cancer.
All right, so part of the treatment will be nutrition. You have to replenish all these nutrients that you've been missing for a long time. The second problem is that we have to remove stress. Unfortunately,
Why
Sorry, I
is
tried
he
to
looking
be
at her like she
successful.
doesn't pay all his bills?
It's not me, it's all the people I hang around with. They're accusing Brooks of faking cancer.
It's very clear about what you have. It's really showing that you have a large mass in there. Unless someone faked this, but this doesn't lie.
The fact that these women are doubting my illness absolutely pisses me off. Somebody walks around and says, oh, you don't have that. I don't think you have that because I don't know and understand why you're doing what you're doing. And the reality is, these women don't know crap about my particular disease.
So we're going to give you an IV today to oxygenate your blood. We get blood, we oxygenate it, transfuse it back to you. It goes into your system, start oxygenating your tissues, and then allows the body to start repairing.
Okay, so let's get that IV started. I gotta get to work.
Let's do it. When people question my treatment options, what do I say to them? You.
Oh.
Why don't you just show everybody, honestly?
Well.
Why? I mean, if it was me, I would be like,
Not
suck
me.
it, bitches.
I'm supporting and surprising him that he's even doing that with you. It's a very serious disease he has. He's got cancer, so be my friend. If it comes up, you stand with conviction. Ladies, we're done.
This is so difficult because I want to support Vicky, and I want nothing more than to go back to these girls and say, you know what? He does have cancer, but I really can't because I don't know what I read.
And I asked them, do you do PET?
So he showed this weird ass report that had no spaces. It was multiple pages. It made no sense at all. And he was like, this is what I got from Newport Imaging, like confirming I have cancer. But it literally made no sense at all.
Scans. They said no.
You called him?
Oh
my God.
When Vicky said that Brooks got a PET CT scan from Newport Imaging, I called and they said they stopped doing PET scans.
Whenever I'm being nosy, I like to say, I called Newport Imaging. And no one ever gets it, but it makes me laugh.
For non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2008.
And then I called again and I said, do you do PET or CTs or PET/CT scans for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma? I straight up asked that. And they said, no, we will refer you to Hoag. You need to go to the hospital to get that.
Wow. I am blown away. I'm freaking blown away. She's doing some research. Clearly, a lot of research. It's like, wow, you're getting some information that's not adding up. So I don't, it's all just a big old ball of a mess.
It's never called me feeling sick. It's just.
It's a bald-faced lie.
I heard it. I've heard that same story. When Brooks had his first chemotherapy treatment at the end of October, Vicky told me the same story.
It's just so weird to me that
Because they said, like, oh, he was really sick, so we had to call Terry, and Terry said, oh, he's going to be fine, just drink some water, and Terry was like, I did not say that. Remember how I was earlier saying that he had said he talked to Terry, and Terry was like, away from me with this?
lie about something that's so traceable.
But the thing is, okay, even if there is some semblance of truth to this
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Yes. Why is she covering for him?
You know what I think? If you have an inability to work, you do not have to pay child support. He has 4 children, and he hasn't had a good reputation. So what?
She just said, and this is my theory, when people are saying, why would he do this? If you can prove that you have an inability to work, you don't have to pay child support. And I know that there was a lot of controversy about him and child support and his kids and being a deadbeat or whatever. So, interesting.
Better way to get sympathy and have everybody love him.
I'm being nailed to the cross like Jesus was, and he did nothing wrong. He's Jesus Christ, and he did nothing wrong. He was nailed to the cross. That's how I feel.
Well, you're not Jesus, and you're not being nailed to any cross. But you could be going to hell if you're lying.
So that is like the main thing we'll see from Orange County, but I just felt like it was so important and so pivotal to Meghan's story here. So more on her and Vicky. We're in like a heavy video portion right now.
I want to be the mother of those children. Back off, bitch. You're not the mother of my kids. They're mine.
Strong words. Stand by them.
It is different when you have your own than the...
Vicky would always come after her being like, you don't know what it means to be a mother. You have stepkids. It's different.
And when there's step. So
you don't know that. So you can't speak
I've witnessed
to that.
my
and it's
friends,
unfair for you.
I have witnessed my friends and people that are close to me have their own biological child. It does change. It's my opinion.
Okay, good point about Brooks. I found a screenshot of the CT scan. I'm a medical professional. It's obvious with the formatting. and everything. He copy and pasted it from something on Google. That's what I thought. And then Kelstar is talking about how they know someone who faked cancer as well. That's an epidemic in Orange County. Wow.
Cameron and Vicky, Kimberly from Chicago wants to know, would you tell parents who have adopted children that their love is not the same or as real as love for biological children?
No, my sisters are adopted. I have 2 older sisters that are adopted. My parents loved us all equally.
But you just told Meghan that it's a different kind of love.
I'm sure my mom had a different liking to the 3 of us, but she never told us.
You just said that your mother loved them all the same, and now you're saying that she didn't.
She never talked about it. We were all, from my perspective, we were all created equal. We were all treated equal. I don't know how it all works. I don't have adopted children. I don't have stepchildren. I think it's great that you love your children.
You don't know, but to say one way or the other how love works, that's disrespectful.
No. I said it's great that you love your children, but I am also saying if and when you have your child, you will see the difference.
In your opinion.
Right, my opinion. That's my opinion. You're asking my opinion.
Maybe I can let you know someday.
Right.
I've witnessed firsthand. Simon loved Ryan, but as soon as Sydney Spencer Sophia were born, it was like, it's different.
Heather Lorelei from San Diego said, you were accused.
Okay, so yeah, her and Vicky don't get along. On the show, Meghan showed her IVF journey. A lot of this is from an interview later about it. So if it sounds like past tense, that's why. She opened up about difficulties of IVF in the blog announcement, writing, during my first round of IVF, I entered the worst depression of my life, probably due to the erratic hormones combined with loneliness. Jim Edmonds was away all the time because of spring training. She did her first IVF cycle at the height of spring training. She said, in hindsight, this was so dumb. She also mentioned that the stress of filming Real Housewives of the OC took a toll on her body during her first IVF experience. I tried to find this clip. You are allowed to hate Vicky. That's fine. And when I say I love Vicky, I mean, like, I love observing her. Like, do I think that she is ethical and, like, a person with morals? So anyway, I tried to find a clip of this. I couldn't find it. I could only find screen grabs. But on Real Housewives of Orange County season 11, and I've never hated anyone more than Jim Edmonds. Like, your wife is in surgery for IVF and you're complaining that she's interrupting your golf game. So she FaceTimes him while she's doing, like, the IVF thing. You don't go all the way under, but you are, like, fucked up. And they, like, put a fucking, like, tube all the way up you and implant the embryo, I think is how it works. I don't really know. So she FaceTimed him while she was having this done. Her mom was the one going with her to all the appointments and everything because he was at spring training. And she said, I love you. How's your golf? Are you playing well? And he said, yeah, well, I was. I just had to pick up the phone, which is fine. Okay. Not a fan of that. This feels relevant. Before she got pregnant via IVF, she almost walked out of her marriage. She revealed to People magazine that in order to convince her husband to take his frozen sperm out, she gave him an ultimatum because he had had a vasectomy. A lot of places when you have a vasectomy, they're like, do you want to freeze some sperm just in case? Like, just in case you change your mind, do you want to freeze some sperm as like a fucking insurance, I guess. So he had done that. So she told him, if you do not unfreeze your sperm and do IVF with me, I will leave you. So they didn't do IVF because they had fertility issues. They did IVF because he had had a vasectomy. So I guess that is a fertility issue, but you get what I'm saying. Not like a naturally occurring one. Like they I guess they could have done IUI, but I guess they said like IVF is more reliable and they only have so much. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a lot to me. That's a lot. She said, I think I said baby or no me at all or nothing. So he agreed and they conceived on their first round of IVF. Because again, like she didn't have fertility issues. They weren't doing IVF because of issues. They were doing it because he had had a vasectomy. The most painful part for Edmonds was the drug stimulation injections. She said her ovaries grew to the size of grapefruits. She said, I was swollen and in pain and it hurt to even sit up straight. It was awful. And then the recovery from that was hard. And they did show that on the show, like at a couple parties, you could tell she like did not feel good. And she was like, look how swollen I am. And you can see she's very tall and very thin. So if she swells up, like you're going to see it, like it's going to be drastic. Just because you're used to seeing her so thin. After getting past the worst, she says now she's looking forward to welcoming her daughter. I'm so over the moon. I couldn't believe it the first time I peed on a stick and saw that little line. kind of get a little darker. It was such a long process with IVF, step by step with so much information. I've always dreamed of this, but it's still such a miracle. I can't even describe this feeling. So I'm stressed. Like, I'm immediately stressed. Immediately stressed. Jim appeared checked out of the process. This is what she wrote in her blog. I was really disappointed in Jimmy's lack of sentiment through my IVF process. Honestly, there were moments I was questioning if getting pregnant was even the right choice. Now that I am pregnant, he's so happy and excited for our baby girl to come, but at the same time, I still think he's removed. He's more excited about decorating the nursery and buying a stroller, things that are needed for a real life baby, not one in utero. He just isn't going through the hormones and emotions like I have been, and I know as soon as our baby girl arrives, he'll fall in love and be just as excited as I am. Maybe it's like our new puppy, Girly Girl. He didn't want her at all. Now that we have her, though, he dotes on her more than me and even wants to wake up for the middle of the night potty breaks. So, this is not looking good. Like, I'm genuinely stressed out. She should have upped his life insurance. So they had the baby. This is the longest Instagram caption I've seen in my life. I literally can't even read it. But basically, incredible husband, wasn't leaving my side. I did it all natural. I thought I was going to die. Blah, 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 blah. I survived. We love the baby. Her birth date, 11/24/16 adds up to her dad's baseball number 15. 1 + 1 + 2 + 4 + 1 + 6 = 15. That feels a little bit like a reach. Hashtag second sold. Hashtag needle free. Hashtag natural birth. All right, man. And it's his 5th child. So good for her. Yeah, girl, do it natural. Suffer. Why not? She goes back on the show. I really did not like how the ladies were mean to her about her baby. Like, all the other ladies on the show, their kids were like teenagers or adults, and except for that one lady, Lydia. But Meghan like had her baby on like trips and stuff like that, and they were all just kind of fucking assholes about it. All natural. She was made in a cup. That is a good point. To be like all natural and you did IVF. It's not my Instagram. Post whatever you want. So these are people being assholes to her about her baby on this fucking trip.
I found you and Kelly laughing at me. Peggy, if they're laughing, why do you assume that they're laughing about you?
She had wet her pants.
I was laughing so hard. Okay.
She literally
Who are you texting? No, I don't care.
You recording?
Oh, you recorded.
Here, it went off.
Meghan, your baby was crying really bad in the room for 10 minutes.
Did you time it? Because I do.
She does a timing thing.
So this lady had a recording of Meghan's baby crying, and Meghan was like, did you time it? Because Meghan was saying she times it. Because it seems like she's doing like sleep training or something, you know, where they like let him cry for 10 minutes and then you go in. So I guess this lady heard the baby crying and fucking recorded it. For why? And she is like, at this point, I think she's in her early 30s. So like, she's not like 21, but she's a lot younger than all of them. She's a new mom. Clearly her husband fucking sucks. Like, I don't know. I just feel like they're not being nice enough to her.
I have to this. It's not her.
Oh my God. About my baby crying. No.
Stop. First, it was Kelly criticizing Meghan as a mother. You should be taking care of your baby. Don't ever.
Like, anytime she was out, people would be like, you're not at home with your baby? Like, people were just assholes to her.
So much like this. And now, Peggy Sulahian is taking her turn? You don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Your baby
It's not about your baby.
She doesn't have a video of her
Then
baby.
why would you bring up
My baby.
Peggy has a hard time expressing herself. She never should have started her whole conversation with the women showing the videotape or that Meghan's a bad mom. She should have just said, you guys hurt my feelings. Let me tell you how.
So, yeah, I didn't like how they were mean to her. I did love when Meghan came for this lady, Lydia. This is pretty iconic.
Why don't you like psychics?
I don't believe in psychics. I believe that they're real, and so I don't want to be around that.
Why don't you believe that they're people? And like
I do, and I was talking to him when it wasn't about psychic stuff, and I was around Mystic Michaela.
Me talking to a 40-year-old ex-baseball player from St. Louis.
You're coming out, Megan. All right, game friggin' on.
I'm glad you're seeing
At my
things.
party, you said you didn't even want to be there because there was a psychic there. Well, that hurt my feelings because this is my friend. Why would I want to be around my friend?
Peggy doesn't believe in psychics either.
I don't. Because in Armenian it means Jagadakir,
And Peggy told her that right away, and she never tried to do it.
But why would I call you to tell you I'd feel uncomfortable around your psychic?
I'm just trying to say that.
What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is it doesn't make sense to me because they're not trying to push anything on you. They're just trying to be a normal person.
Oh,
so
but
why
you're
can't
not,
you just like
you don't
be around
believe in
that?
Jesus. You don't understand my faith, so of course it's not going to make sense to you. I don't want it. It doesn't need to.
I don't know. I just think you should use your brain and not have the Bible tell you what's right and wrong all the time.
Ooh.
I use my brain to read the Bible.
I mean, you just said you don't know if drag queens are in the Bible or not.
That's what I meant by that.
And what choice to make because of that. Well, like, maybe you just do the right thing.
Yeah. And I was there and trying to be open-minded.
It struck a nerve with me because I just think people should be treated equally.
Well, I think you are going to strike a nerve with a lot of people.
Well.
Who cares? You don't want to be around that. That's okay. That's your choice.
Nicole from Scranton,
Lydia was never
said,
meant to be on
I
this
thought
show.
it was the sweetest thing when you prayed over Shannon in the bathroom at the Quiet Woman.
Okay, so now they talk about Lydia praying, whatever. So, at the reunion, she also, when she was wearing that green dress, ending Lydia, she announced that she had started IVF again and that they were pregnant again. In December 21st, 2017, they announced that they are expecting twins. And like I had already read this, but she like said the first round of IVF was the worst depression. It was so dumb to do it at that time. And so she said she felt like this time was opposite from her first experience. This time I was anxious for the emotional toll, knowing I could handle the physical repercussions. So yeah, now she's having twins. Lydia is giving Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. That's where Lydia needs to be. Lydia's very religious, but Lydia's mom, I think she recently passed away, but Lydia's mom was like, I'm in the forest, I'm smoking weed in the backyard, I'm putting glitter on people, fairy princess time. And then Lydia became like super religious. So I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, Meghan King is pregnant. There's their baby. I think her name is Aspen or something like that. And now they're having twins. Yay. Then she leaves Real Housewives of Orange County. She announced that she was leaving after 3 seasons because she wanted to focus on her pregnancy and her family. She said, I knew I was going to have a long pregnancy growing the twins and it would be next to impossible to film. I could do it, but did I really want to? Twin pregnancies must be treated more delicately than a singleton pregnancy and are high risk by default. So I wanted to have a peaceful pregnancy with positive influence. Consistent positive influences are harder to find on Real Housewives of Orange County. And then Jim Edmonds said, let's try this again. I'm so proud of my wife. This beautiful woman is charging through life on her own terms. He doesn't sound like that, but I think he should. June 2018, they welcomed their sons, Hart and Hayes. Yay! Everyone is doing well. My wife is a rock star. Once again, delivered both babies with no medication. #OneToughLady. So, okay, this is my stance on this. As someone who very negatively reacts to medication, has had so many awful experiences with medication, is very, very sensitive to medication. If I was in a situation where I had to give birth, I would definitely try and do it without medication, personally. But I don't like when people make it like a tough thing. Like when people are like, yeah! Because ultimately, I think a lot of it is just luck. Because like we have the medication so that you don't die. So like if you're lucky and you don't need any of it, cool, rock on. I think that would be like most people's first choice. But like for you to be like, I did it without the medication, implies that you're somehow better or tougher or whatever to someone who like needed it to live. You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm just like, about. So October 24th, 2018, they celebrate 4 years of marriage. We've been through more in 4 years of marriage than most do in 20. All right, weird thing to say. And I guess that is true. They've dealt with a death. They've dealt with like being a new step parent, being on television, having all these children, but I don't know. I don't like that. I really just don't like that. Then just a mere less than a year later, Jim Edmonds is accused of having an affair. Here we go. Here we fucking go. Jim Edmonds' steamy affair while Meghan was pregnant with twins exposed. Dick pics, threats, hush money, and more. The mistress is well known in the Major League Baseball community as the baseball madam. She met the married man 9 years ago when he was playing professional baseball for the Cincinnati Reds. They had a whirlwind romance while he was married to his second wife. Yeah, but I think they have this wrong. I think that was his first wife. But anyway, they had a affair when he was with a previous wife, and then they reconnected while Meghan was pregnant with the twins. Isn't that crazy? This lady is, I need to know who this woman is. This is genuinely insane. Jim sent Jen a DM on Instagram in March 2018. She had not heard from him in years. Their friendship sparked again and they started communicating on a regular basis. Their communications quickly turned from friendly to dirty texting. Yeah, Leanne was his first wife, so all about the tea.com is fake news. They went on a couple of dates and started having sex May of 2018. They would meet up at hotels while he was on the road doing his broadcasting job. Jen would fly into the city where Jim was working and stay with him. Yikes. I have heard that baseball players are the biggest cheaters of professional athletes. You're welcome for covering the blurred dick. You're welcome for that, because I didn't have to cover the blurred dick because it is blurred, but it was still just too much dick, and I felt like even with that smiley face, you got the gist of what it was. Like, we didn't need to see it blurred. I had to, and I wanted to save you from that. We'll sit down and have a few martinis and talk about it. Milwaukee is coming up. I already told you the Milwaukee dates. You can have all kinds of alone time. I'll get you a room, vibrator, and wine. Please send me a video. Sent you a few videos. Like, they're nasty texting. They're doing the nasty texting. Look what you did, LOL. Are you sure you do not block me or I'm not on... So, like, also his texts aren't going through. Like, this is a fucking mess. Like, this is literally a mess. The source claims that Jim is a freak and would routinely send dick pics and sexual videos exposing himself. Apparently, he sent a video of himself the same day that his wife gave birth to twins. But I thought that you were by her side the whole time and so proud of her. So when did you sneak away for your little dick movie? When was that, Jimothy? No answer? Quickly, Jimothy, quickly. So... I debated including this. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. But apparently, Meghan left the mistress a voicemail. Meghan found out. I can imagine hearing from your boyfriend's wife is never good, but hearing from her freshly postpartum, I feel like she really wouldn't be holding back. You know what I mean? So I apologize. There's like a weird, like, not a watermark, but like a sound mark on it. It's a lot.
All about the tea. Know this. Every single guy in the Major League Baseball that you have slept with,
all about the
and that you have blackmailed, I am getting every ounce of it to the FBI. Think about retracting that story, because I'm telling you right now, you will be facing criminal charges for blackmailing. You will not win, and no one is going to print anything that you say. Good luck with the police showing up. I hope they take your children. Try threatening my family again.
All about the tea.
Having an affair while married to an amateur detective. Yeah, so clearly she is not thrilled. Jim denied the extramarital affair and claimed that the woman was trying to blackmail him. So that's why she's like, I'm going to collect all this evidence. This is blackmail. Because Jim was like, oh, she's just blackmailing me. That was an old affair. That's my dick in 2008. That's not my dick right now. Call 911. My husband's cheating on me. I can tell you one thing. just remembering this is on the internet. How do I say this nice? If I am ever in the situation of being a scorned woman, I'm not going to be the one calling 911. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think other people might. So anyway, he tells Meghan, oh, fucking, that's my dick in 2008. I don't know. She's trying to blackmail me. But went behind Meghan's back and hammered out a confidentiality non-disclosure agreement with the mistress, paying her a hefty settlement in exchange for her silence. And this is a copy of the agreement, which again, this is like a gossip website and it's like all like redacted. So it could be fake, but I'm choosing to believe it because it makes them look bad. So yeah. Like, messy as fuck. This is when I tell you guys, like, her being on Real Housewives is, like, such a small part of her story. So, mutual release of claims, confidentiality, mutual non-disparagement, protected party agrees to pay the confidant a sum of $7,500. It lays out a timeline, things like that. Also, the attorney's fees, all that stuff. So, not, like, millions of dollars, but a pretty significant amount of money to get this NDA signed. And then June 14th, 2019, he denies cheating, but admits a lapse in judgment. Regrettably, I had a lapse in judgment. I engaged in an inappropriate conversation with this person. At no time was there any type of relationship or physical contact. Absolutely none. This is someone trying to profit from my name. I am aware she has done this to others in the past, yet you still DM'd your dick to her. Got it. Clearly, I've made a very poor decision to expose myself. No one read this. I would never have let this leave his desk. Expose myself and my family to this type of person. For this, I'm truly sorry and sought forgiveness from my wife. I'm outraged over the intent to ruin my family and intend to take legal action. The NDA. We were never having problems in our marriage. My attorney is in possession of documents wherein this person has admitted fabricating large portions of her story. On Thursday, a source alleged to All About the Tea that Jim participated in the infidelity twice. The first time during his marriage to his second wife, it's his first wife, Allison, and it was Jen, the baseball madam. So then she speaks out about the situation in a blog post titled, I'm Sad. She shared that he sent lewd photos to another woman but didn't have physical interaction. This is the part that fucking kills me. I love how honest she is. And everyone was saying like, oh, I like her. Am I going to hate her? I don't hate her. I think she's real as fuck. Do I believe him? I don't know, because I don't trust him anymore. Physical or not, he still had an affair and he admits this to me. She put that shit on her blog publicly. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm a simple girl. I want a solid marriage. I'm as loyal as they come, and I wanted the vows we made when we exchanged our rings to be acted upon. Now my wedding ring symbolizes fraud. Ultimately, I have hope our marriage can recover. Real as fuck. Real as fuck. She has no filter or PR training. That's why I like her. And like, this sucks. Like, what I feel bad for her is like, everyone was right. That's the worst. Is like you married this guy that had cheated before and you were like, no, I'm different. And you really believed that. And that's like, so not only are you heartbroken, you're also like embarrassed. Because I think it is way worse to get cheated on by someone like this than it is to get cheated on and everyone's like, no one saw this coming. This is horrible. Because then at least you don't feel stupid. Like you're like, me and everyone else was blindsided. But in this, everyone was like, ooh, yeah, that sounds like him. And that's so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. So then in July, as if this fucking bullshit isn't enough, June have some heavy hits for Meghan. Then in July, she reveals that her son has irreversible brain damage, which is really sad. We're not really going to talk a ton about it because this is about her, not her kid. And this child didn't ask to be in the spotlight. But this is what she shared about it. She shared that her then 13-month-old son, Hart, had been diagnosed with minor periventricular leukomalacia on both sides of his brain, which can be caused by a lack of blood flow to the brain tissue before, during, or after birth. So very common for children to have injuries in birth. Not very common, like it happens all the time, but it is like a real thing. From the minute he was born, I knew something was different with Hart. After receiving the diagnosis, she said she immediately called Jimothy. That night, Jimmy and I went out to dinner for the first time in weeks. I explained to Jimmy how we are not somehow compromised or punished for having a child with special needs, whatever that mean or may not mean. We are blessed, she wrote. #blessed. Then later in July, she confirmed that her and Jim are still together. A month after the cheating allegations broke, she confirmed in an interview that they're still together. We're still married. We're still together. We're not separated. We're in the family home, in the same bed. We're not having therapy. We're talking. Could you sue a man for cheating on you? I don't know. Maybe. Especially you could say like endangerment, because if you were having unprotected sex while he was cheating. Fraud? Maybe, I don't know. Probably not fraud. But I do know that some prenups have infidelity clauses. So that's kind of like suing someone. Then in October, she shared that they were in counseling. We're still working day by day. I think after such a breach of trust, it's hard to rebuild from there, especially with so many distractions, like our son's health problems and our 2 other little babies. And so to focus on the 2 of us as a couple is really hard. Today is actually our 5-year anniversary. And so he's inside at Goodwill and we're like looking for Halloween costumes. Then we're going to counseling. I think that's almost a date for us because we have to talk about us. We have to communicate about things that don't involve other topics. So they did start going to counseling. Then boom. October 28th, Jim Edmonds is accused of cheating again with their nanny. A few days after King revealed that she and Edmonds were working on things in counseling, rumors surfaced that he cheated on his wife with their nanny. Amid reports that Edmonds had filed for divorce, he spoke out on Instagram to deny being unfaithful. It's one thing to be accused of something, it's another to be so negligent and so careless and ruin the lives of innocent young people. I did not sleep with our nanny. She's... Sounds like you did. She's not just a nanny. She's someone we brought into our house and promised to protect and look after while she was in our home. We have been treating and raising this young girl like she is our own child. Okay. The pair's nanny, Carly Wilson, also denied that she had been sexually involved with Edmonds. And then October 29th, Meghan speaks out about it. Like, they really keep it public. Like, everything's in the public, if it appears. Probably not, actually. That's the worst part. Once again, she took to her blog to share her side of the story. What I will say is that in the wake of the sexting situation, my husband was drinking and partying with much younger women, including several of our babysitters. She's not just a nanny equals it wasn't a party. It was a gathering of people who will be eating your antipasta without you present. It's giving the councilman from Parks and Rec. Oh my God, he's too used to being believed for no reason. So he's like, I didn't even fuck the nanny. I was just out partying and drinking with several babysitters. It's obviously different. And Meghan said, I found this gallivanting inappropriate, immature, and downright odd. Yeah. King added that she initially wrote off the outings because Edmonds' adult daughter was also there. So originally, I think she was like, oh, he's taking the girls out and maybe just like waiting for them and being the DD. Like, is that good? No, but I can see how you could rationalize that in your head. Like, okay, he's out with his daughter and her friends who happen to be our nannies and babysitters. But given his previous indiscretions, I was uncomfortable. Even more so when he started lying about where he was going or who he was going with and deleting entire text conversations on his phone with several of these young women. So that's a lot. To be clear, I don't know if Jim slept with our babysitter or whether they were just being exceedingly inappropriate by hanging out socially without either of them telling me, and then Jim expressly lying to me about it. I like that she blames both of them, but she blames him more than the babysitter. Because she's like, they were both doing it, neither of them told me, and he fucking lied about it. Because I do think that's weird. Like, if you're a nanny, you should not do that. Like, if you are a nanny or a babysitter and the dad is trying to go out with you, be like, yeah, is your wife gonna be there? I love your wife. Let me tell her. Let's invite her. And like tell her at that second in front of him. Be like, Meghan, Jimothy said we're all going out. Let's do it. Like, that's how you handle that as a babysitter. And then if he's like, why'd you fucking tell her? Be like, what do you mean, why did I do? I just assumed she was coming. She's your wife. Like, you're never gonna look crazy in that. King also wrote that her marriage was ending. I love my husband and I'm devastated that our marriage is being broken up in the ugliest and messiest way. My stepkids Landon and Sutton have lost a stepmother whom they love and will have to endure another divorce and broken home in their short lifetime. Okay, so I wouldn't have included that part personally. I think I would have said that to him. I would not have put that on the blog because, like, they don't have to lose you. You know that, right? Like, you can keep talking to them. Like, no one's going to be upset if you keep talking to them. Then Jim Edmonds vows to make it right after cheating allegations. You can see this is literally day after day after day. Like, we're getting this live time. He publicly addressed his relationship drama. He said, the last couple years have been rough on my wife and me for many reasons. And me. She has done IVF twice and given birth to 3 human beings. You fucked your old affair partner and possibly your child's babysitter. So, tell me again what was hard on you, Jim? Quickly. Marriage is difficult, but I had 3 small children under 3, 2 adolescent children, 2 adult children. This is not making you sound like the hero you think you are. Building a house and 2 busy, hardworking spouses and the stress of living our lives in the public eye. At times, we are exhausted and feel our life has become one of distrust, kids, work, house, sleep, and repeat. And whose fault is that, Jim? Whose fault is that? Not to mention, now she's out of childcare. No, literally, that would probably be like the worst part. Because then, like, not only are you grieving, you don't have anyone to watch your kid while you fucking grieve. He concluded by saying he wanted to get back to the private life we used to live. What you were always on TV. You were a famous baseball player and then became a sports news person. I love my family and will make it right again. And then a few days later, he moves into the home they were building alone. I have so many children, but don't talk about how I've treated their mothers. Poor guy can't handle a basic responsibility and not cheat on his wife. So this is him moving into the house that they were supposed to build together. Moving day. Imagine you've cheated on all your wives and you're on your fucking Instagram story being like, moving day. 2 weeks after reportedly filing for divorce, he posted several videos showing him moving into their unfurnished St. Louis home. This is how you know he's a fucking manipulator. Because in the public, he's like, I want to win her back. I'm moving into the house. But he filed for divorce in private. Like, that came out later. Because you want to be the first one to file because he probably wants to protect his fucking money, but still wants to look like the good guy who's trying to stick up for his family. Earlier in the week, he shared a pair of videos on the site when it said they've been working on it for a long time. It won't look like this for long. And then he's moving in, but he's alone. So then that day, it appears, is that the same day? Yeah. That day, Jim Edmonds confirms that he called police to conduct a welfare check on Meghan King Edmonds and kids. He said he was concerned about their safety. The police were called to Meghan King Edmonds' home on Wednesday to conduct a welfare check on her children after Jim became worried about her ability to care for them, according to multiple reports. He confirmed the incident in a statement to People. Like, you're trying to rebuild your family, but you're calling the cops, and then you're making a statement to People about it. Why aren't we calling him Jimmy Baseball? Great point. Let's start now. I called the police before she came home to keep from having an incident. I was concerned, and there was no incident because of that. Jim said he was home watching their children. When Meghan came home after a few drinks during a night out with friends, she did not drive herself home. The kids were asleep when she returned to the house, and she was getting ready for bed when the cops arrived. With Jim present, an officer questioned Meghan and eventually determined that she was fit to take care of the children. So, literally called for nothing. Nothing happened. He said, it was a preventative call. She had been drinking. Yeah, man. She has 3 small children and you publicly cheated on her a bunch of times. I'd be fucking drinking too. I would call a wellness check if she wasn't drinking. US Weekly also reports that Jim went on to accuse Meghan of cheating on him. This is like giving projection in like the strongest and most intense sense. So that's where we are. Like, he's calling the police on her for no reason. He seems insane and horrible. And then January 2020, Meghan King says that Jimmy Baseball is dating a woman that they had a threesome with. Didn't see that coming, right? Out of nowhere, she's like, we had a threesome and now he's dating that lady. Just FYI. King opened up about Edmonds' new girlfriend, Courtney O'Connor, very, very progressive spelling of Courtney, during an episode of her podcast. I found out yesterday that my ex is allegedly having an affair or seeing somebody. Okay, well, fine, right? We're separated. She then alleges that her and Jimmy Baseball had previously had a threesome with O'Connor when they were newlyweds. I felt very comfortable with her. It just felt like, okay, if I'm going to do this, this can be with who, and I'm comfortable with that, she explained, adding that it was a one-time thing and that they occasionally ran into her over the years. On another couple of occasions, Jim and I saw her together and were very friendly and small-talked. We were very friendly and small-talked, but he wasn't. It was just me. There was something weird between them, and there was something that they almost acted like I was the one who was out of something. Edmonds later denied the threesome. That was all false. That was a joke. I don't even know how she comes up with this stuff. I know, they're poor kids, and he has 7 of them. At least all the kids have each other. So they got into an exchange over child support. In response to one of her Instagram followers, King commented on the child support she receives from Jimmy Baseball. Girl, I have a career. Thank you very much. That child support is not buying me gold and baubles. It barely pays for groceries for my tribe. I hate when people use the word tribe in the wrong context. Jim's rep says, we're not going to give numbers because that's no one's business. But if what Jim was giving Meghan each month for child support doesn't cover her groceries, she must be getting her eggs from the Fabergé, whatever that means. It sounds fancy. And then she took another step when she removed Edmonds from her Instagram handle, and now she's just a Meghan King, July of 2020. She did get a boyfriend during this time, Christian Scalf, who is a CEO of Uncharted Supply in St. Louis. They met in the divorce. They became a couple, but then they broke up. Seems pretty anticlimactic. She dated another guy, Will Roos. She was dating her longtime friend called Friend Turned Boyfriend. It fizzled out. She never publicly addressed the breakup. So as she's going through the divorce, she is dating. She looks absolutely phenomenal, so why wouldn't she be? Then May of 2021, Meghan and Jimmy Baseball finalized their divorce. She wrote on her blog, dude, COVID courts won't even let me get divorced. I feel like that pretty much sums up 2020. I can't even accomplish the shittiest thing on my list. So I guess their divorce took a really long time because COVID, I guess that impacts it. So remember that clip that I said was going to be relevant. Talk to me in 5 years when you're divorced.
Do you think you have any residual resentment towards Vicky because she said your marriage was going to end within 5 years and then it ended with 4 years and one
day?
Mm-hmm.
No. It was 5 years. It was 5 years to the day. We went out for our anniversary dinner and the next day it ended. And to the day. That to me is, I mean, I got to give props to Vicky.
we can hate on her all we want, but she was right.
She was right.
So Vicky fucking called it. Vicky fucking called it. And then Jim Edmonds saw that podcast and called Teddy Mellencamp a piece of shit. One thing about Jimothy Edmonds is he is stressed. My man is stressed. So, okay. Like I had said, she has been dating around. She then became, I don't even know how to explain this to you guys. She became Instagram official with Cuff Owens, who's Joe Biden's nephew. So, she said, trying my best to avoid any cheesy introductions like my main squeeze, so just meet my man. Like, no, Meghan. She's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm becoming a Biden. Fuck it. I'm a Biden. You fucking think you can cheat on me with all these people and embarrass me? Fuck you. I'm a Biden. I'm marrying into the White House, bitch. I love that clip of Meghan owning Vicky being right. That's what I mean. I think Meghan is very real and she like owns up when she fucks up or is wrong. So, this, like, I just kind of can't with this. This is why I wanted to do the stream about her, because I saw this and I was like, what the fuck? And then I didn't know about a bunch of this stuff before this with the cheating and all that. So fuck it. Joe Biden has entered the chat. Apparently they moved very, very quickly. They met on a dating app, and she moved back to St. Louis when she was getting divorced. Like you saw, the home that they were building was in St. Louis. They were living in St. Louis after the show and stuff. So sorry, I meant to say that. But anyway, they met on a dating app, and she said, we texted for a day or two, then spent 5 straight hours on the phone the first time we spoke. By the time that call ended, Cuff was booked and packed for a flight to St. Louis that took off in about 8 hours. Very, very quick. Within a week, we were back on the East Coast meeting his family and starting to plan our future together. We didn't leave each other's side for weeks. I'm scared. I'm very scared. This part you're going to be upset about. US Weekly confirmed that Meghan King met Cuff Owens less than 1 month before they walked down the aisle in October 2021. So she meets Joe Biden's nephew and marries him within a month. I want to support her so badly. I'm having a hard time. Her family is a bit shocked that she tied the knot so quickly, a source told Us Weekly. And their nuptials were attended by Owen's uncle, President Joe Biden, and his wife, Dr. Jill Biden. So, if that felt abrupt, it was. It was very, very, very abrupt. Because literally what's going on? I'm so shook. I am so shook. So here's her at her wedding to Cuff Owens. Is it Cuffy? Is it Cuff? I don't know. Kufa? I don't know. But she looks beautiful. Wedding is beautiful. Oh, she brought her children to her wedding. 'Cause exactly. But this is them. I will say it seems age appropriate. Got a W for that. Got lots of small children. Less than 6 months after the divorce as well. Yeah. And she did date when she was in the process of getting divorced, because getting divorced took her a long time because children, money, COVID, all the things. But her fit is serving. One thing about Meghan is she's going to look good. She is going to look good. Our wedding was about 2 things for us. For our love for and commitment to each other and our family. Each of our families and the new very large, very tight family were bonding together by getting married. That's it. The wedding took place at his parents' house in Pennsylvania, and she revealed that she just knew they were meant to be. Our vision was of an intimate and simple gathering, no major frills, no overthinking, no drama. We both knew exactly what we were going to do, where we were going to do it, how we were going to do it. It's a beautiful thing to see eye to eye with each other as we do. First wedding, 4 kids there. Second, third, maybe 2. No, this is her 3rd wedding, because remember the guy that she erased, that she didn't have any kids with? I don't know if there were any kids at that wedding. So, in December 2021, she confirmed via Instagram story that they called it quits. And I like that she announced it via story. She was like, this doesn't even deserve main feed. She was like, this marriage was 5 minutes. Doesn't deserve main feed. So yeah, December 2021 is when they called it quits. They got married October 2021. They met September of 2021. She got me to erase the first husband. What a mastermind. I know, she's good at what she does. So Meghan. See what I mean? She's giving Barbara Hutton. It's a lot. I am rattled. This situation was profoundly devastating. This is obviously not what I imagined when I made my vows. I'm shocked and saddened by the way things turned out. I am moving forward with my children as we privately process our pain and begin to let go of shattered dreams. At this time, I ask for your grace and gentle kindness as I navigate this labyrinth of grief with my family. Listen, for a rebound relationship, go big or go to the White House, I guess. And what kills me is that this wedding was while Joe Biden was in office. Joe Biden had to step away. I don't think you guys are understanding how important this is to me. Joe Biden had to leave the White House and go to Pennsylvania to go to Meghan King's third wedding. What other Real Housewife has had a sitting president at their wedding? Joe Biden woke up that day and on his little thing, they said, motherfucker, you're going to Pennsylvania for your nephew's wedding. And he said, my nephew doesn't have a girlfriend. What are you talking about? And they said, check fucking mate. Her name's Meghan King. What do you think were the 2 bullets about Meghan King? I heard this thing one time that they give politicians 2 bullets about a person. Like, they'll be like, they're from this place, you met them at this event. Like, oh, like if it was me, they'd be like, she is a teacher and she's big on social media. Like, that, like, you know, well, they're 2 bullets. What were the 2 bullets that he got about Meghan Edmonds? What were they? If I had to write them, I would be like, former model, former reality star, recently went through very messy divorce from professional baseball player. I feel like that's as much as Joe Biden. He'd be like, okay, I'm in. You know what I'm saying? Married to Jim Baseball and something else. I wonder if Joe had any questions or if he was just like, fuck it, let's go. So yeah, this felt jarring. It was jarring. I'm sure it was jarring to live through. And she revealed on Jeff Lewis's show that she was getting her marriage annulled because it was so brief. The difference between a divorce and an annulment, a divorce is like, I was married, it didn't work out, the marriage is over. An annulment is like that marriage was non-existent. It did not exist. They basically cancel it. So if you've been married for like over a year, you filed taxes together, you owned a house together, things like that, you're probably not eligible for an annulment. Annulments are for like, you got married super drunk and then the next day you can get an annulment. Some states are really strict about them, some are a little more chill, but that's the difference. After admitting she thought her ex was good at telling her what she wanted to hear, she opened up about why she jumped into the marriage so quickly. He said all the right things, and I and the families were a good fit. He seemed to grow up similarly to me. It was almost like an arranged marriage. I felt like except we chose one another. I think I was just so ready for a partner. I have 3 little kids that I have all the time pretty much, so I just really want some help and I want a partnership. I feel really bad for her. Like, I'm not going to say she was right for this, but I can see how this happens. Like, you are in this horrible reality TV world. You're getting ripped apart by this professional baseball player. Like, it's just horrible. And so then you meet this man who's from, like, literally the president's fucking family. Like, literally one of the most established families. And they're like, we love you. We love your children. Welcome. I see why she did it. I feel really, really bad for her. She said, I was very confused by the whole relationship, but I'm just glad it was short and sweet and it's done and annulled. She opened up about lessons she learned from the whirlwind romance. We rushed into it. I didn't even want to get married again, but it was important to him. Like I said earlier, I'm a lover and I want everybody to be happy, and it was not the healthiest. And that they decided to not stay in touch. I learned some big lessons from that mistake. I'm sure he did as well. I do think they met on Raya. Thank you for bringing that up, because she said they met on a dating app, but then he had to fly to see her. So what dating app isn't by location? Raya. If you don't know, Raya is like a famous person dating app. During the episode where she was on this podcast, King questioned if her family was an obstacle that Owen's 43 couldn't overcome. He'd never been married and he didn't have kids, so it's really hard to know when you're in it, and my kids are a lot, so who knows, but the whole relationship was only 3 months start to finish. I get it. I think she's just real as fuck, and people are like, oh, why did it end? Why did a marriage with someone you knew for 4 weeks end? Like, it's like, oh, you got to know each other better and realized it wasn't a vibe. And this is her talking about Joe Biden's wedding.
Thanks for watching.
So that's hilarious that she kept the presidential steel bowl. I would have done the same thing. I would have absolutely done the same thing. So then July 2022, she updates her love life that she's moved on with CEO Trevor Cullen. They've been going strong for 3 months. She's doing everything she can to keep the relationship private. And then she weighed in on her attempts to find someone new. I enjoy dating. It's not at the top of my list like it used to be. It'll happen when it's supposed to happen. I'm trying to take this time to just sit in the moment, mainly with my kids and, of course, my friends, too. My friends have been amazing through all of this. So she was seen with a few different guys, but I'm going to leave it out because whatever. And when I say she was seen with, literally like social media paparazzi randos caught her out with a man, a couple different ones. Doesn't know if they're friends, dating, who they are for some of them even. So I'm just going to leave it out. It seems like she's going out and having some fun and going out with her friends, some of which are men in St. Louis, living her life. She did open up about the struggles of raising a child with cerebral palsy. I guess that brain injury was later progressed, diagnosed. I don't know the correct terminology here. She said, I don't like being defined as a mother of a child with cerebral palsy. And she had a really long post about her struggles and worries. It seemed very genuine. You can look it up if you want. It's like super, super long, just about, I worry that I'm doing not enough, but then I worry about I'm doing too much and treating him differently than his siblings. Like, it seemed very raw and very honest. And I do applaud her for talking about this. Normally I'm like, ew, don't talk about your kids on social media, but I don't know. I think this is something a lot of people probably can relate with and need to hear. And it doesn't seem, the post didn't read it as like she was trying to exploit him for it or like tell people about it. It was very much like her emotions, which I think is fine. And then September 7th, 2022, Jimmy Baseball has re-entered the chat. She is granted a temporary restraining order against him. In court documents, she alleged that she had to endure frequent and consistent verbal abuse from him. And this was all contrary to the terms of the parenting plan regarding conduct toward the other party, especially in the presence of minor children. She said that the verbal abuse was in person, over text message, through the attorney, and on the Family Wizard parenting app. There's like an app where like the parents communicate if they've like had problems before, and like the lawyers can see it and the judge can see it, and it's just like very above board. So like if you're using that app, things probably are not good, is what I've gathered. King also said that she wanted to publicize the matter and claimed that her former spouse shielded the situation by sealed files and private hearings. And Edmonds' rep said, this request for an order of protection is completely baseless and furthermore makes an absolute mockery of the pain suffered by the millions of women in this country who are legitimate victims of abuse. I believe her. Even the way on camera where he was like, I don't have to do anything, so zip it. That's not necessarily abusive, but you got to think people are going to put their best foot forward on camera. The second he told her to zip it, I clocked him as a verbal abuser. You get me. We're seeing each other. September 21st, 2022, Meghan King dismisses the 2 orders of protection against Jim Edmonds. A few weeks later, the 2 orders of protection, one was granted and one additional child protective order that was requested but not granted, were dropped by Meghan King's attorneys. A consent order was also entered into their previously concluded divorce case. As I continue to heal, I've become enlightened and more aware of what I've been through and how to handle it. Let's just say I'll remain protected and safe with a binding document not accessible to the public. So I guess they were like, drop this public shit. We'll put a new agreement. We'll put it in the divorce. And that's what she did. Jim is looking forward to putting all this nonsense behind him as he begins his new life with Courtney and continues to focus on the needs of his children. He's referring to Jim Edmonds' new fiancée, Courtney O'Connor, the lady from the alleged 3-way. There was no threat, which is why Meghan did not need any orders of protection. Yikes. So, September 30th, Meghan King comments on Jimmy Baseball's wedding to Courtney O'Connor. They tied the knot. Meghan said, I saw the pictures. I get Google alerts for my name, so all these articles are like Meghan King's ex Jim Edmonds getting married. And I'm like, oh, I'm sure he's really loving that. Or how it's like Meghan King's ex Jim Edmonds marries threesome partner. Not the greatest headlines for them. And the wedding took place one day before her birthday, before Meghan's birthday. It was the greatest gift anyone could have given me. Tie that man up and take him away. Float off into the ether of your beautiful fantasy land and happiness and just leave me alone, please. Like I said, I like her. I think she's real as fuck. I think she's funny. I think that she is clearly making mistakes, but owning up to them. And like, she can take it when people ask her questions about it. She's just honest about it. Then, October 5th, Jim Edmonds responds to Meghan King's claims that their kids were not invited to his wedding. Him and his new wife, Courtney, had a small wedding in Lake Como, Italy. I don't know why the font is so small on this. During an episode of her podcast, she claimed that her children, the 4-year-old twins and the 5-year-old daughter, did not receive invites. She said, they weren't invited as far as I know. They don't have passports, and he didn't ask me to get them a passport. A rep for Edmonds described Meghan's comments as both disgraceful and pathetic at the same time. Meghan continues to keep herself in the public eye by disparaging Jim and then complains to anyone who will listen that co-parenting is difficult. Meghan needs to focus on getting the help she needs to lead a productive and meaningful life. Why were your kids not at your wedding? I guess you do have 7 of them, so it would be expensive to take all 7 of your children to Italy, but then maybe you don't have a wedding in Italy. Maybe we just keep it in Missouri. January 2023, she posted that she's a little bitter. She shared a sweet throwback photo on Instagram and a caption that offered insight. Sometimes looking back on photos like this one, I think about the ignorant happiness I felt. In this moment, I had no idea things would be the way they are today. She captioned a photo of herself holding one of her 3 children and smiling. I'm a little bitter and I wear that pain with a badge of honor because of how far I've come. I envy those with nuclear families and I mourn the one I lost. I'm the happiest and wisest and most powerful I've ever been, but at a very steep price. I'm grateful for those fleeting moments of bliss I felt with the family I once made. She's actually famous. He's just Jimmy Baseball. Another good contender for chat of the night. I really don't know what I'm gonna pick. Let me screenshot that. Thank you, Colleen, for subscribing for 12 months a year. Look at us. And then March 2023, he filed to modify their child custody agreement. Like, literally, he cannot just leave her alone. Edmonds is requesting a more consistent custody schedule. Under the current arrangements, he and Meghan submit their custody schedule every 30 days. Should disagreements arise, a parent coordinator steps in. Jim and wife Courtney O'Connor believe Meghan is unstable, unfit, unwilling to co-parent, and unable to provide an environment for children that is emotionally and physically safe. I find it so interesting that for years you didn't feel the need to be involved in your children's life on a day-to-day basis and you weren't the primary custodial parent. But now you get married and suddenly she's unfit and you want your kids back. Got it. The rep continued, in addition, they feel Meghan is intentionally creating obstacles in an effort to put distance between them and the children. Jim has filed a motion with the court to modify the current custody agreement that will give him a greater amount of time with the 3 children and a more consistent schedule. If Meghan is unable to effectively parent and co-parent under this new agreement, Jim is prepared to continue to seek greater custody of the children to ensure their emotional and physical well-being. In her response, King said, I've been the primary parent and single mother of my children with 0 issues except for the ones in which Jim causes. His salacious claims are unfounded and will be found so in court. My children have always been and will always be and always will be my top priority. So they're a mess. It's a huge mess. If you were wondering what she does for money, she said in 2023 she was getting into real estate. She posted that she was studying to take her real estate exam. And then at another point in 2023, which was in July 2023, she was on Watch What Happens Live and she revealed that she sells private planes. And she wanted to sell a plane to Adrienne Maloof. And Andy said, do you sell planes? And she said, I do, yes. So I guess she works on a company that like brokers or does planes or whatever, and now she's getting into real estate. This makes sense. It seems like she's very well connected. Like I said, it seems like her family was like decently wealthy. So she has a degree in marketing. She used to work in sales. That's like pretty normal job for someone that needs to make a large amount of money. Like if you have 3 children, especially one that has like specific medical needs, you just need to have a fuck ton of money. That's the society we live in, unfortunately. And it seems like she is finding a way to do that. So it seems like 2024 was pretty uneventful for her. So let's give it up for an uneventful 2024 for Meghan. She posted her kids on Instagram, working in real estate, living in St. Louis. She was seen in public, like I said, hanging out with friends and a couple different guys, spending time with her friends and family. Like I said, it seems like 2024 was relatively good. I didn't see any news about the custody agreement, anything of that nature. I wish I had more positive news, but this is very, very recent. August 13th, 2025, Courtney gets a restraining order against Meghan. According to court documents, the 40-year-old Meghan was allegedly detained in the front yard of Jim and Courtney's home in Missouri after showing up to the property when their 3 kids were not home. The story is she showed up and went inside the house in Missouri. Jim and the kids were not there. Courtney had her leave and locked the door. She tried to get in 3 more times. Courtney called the police. She was detained in the yard by police. Police were going to charge her for trespassing. Jim and Courtney decided to go the legal route and get a protection order against her. I don't really know what happened here. I want to hear Meghan's side of this story. Kind of wondering. So they misspelled her name, but people are saying it is her because of the address. They have her name spelled as Meghan. It's her address. The story showed up. She went inside the house. The kids weren't there. That's the thing I just kind of read. It also noted that the order was hand-delivered to the respondent in court. The order requires Meghan to not come within 150 feet of the petitioner and that neither party shall be within 150 feet of each other at respondent's children's activities, and bans Meghan from mentioning the petitioner's name in or on social media. So she hasn't posted like a statement about this or anything, because obviously I don't really know what happened here. Like, I'm inclined to be on her side because he's been gaslighting her and making her look crazy for years. So I truly don't know. There's not much info about it. This was the most recent update I could find about her, was like her with her kids on Instagram, where she was saying my job is being forced upon my children because she was taking them to work because they were on summer break. So yeah, like, I truly wish her all of the peace in the world. Like, I genuinely want her to be so happy and have so much peace. Yeah, I wish I had a better ending place. Meghan, I wish you the best. If you're watching this, you'll get through this. You've gotten through everything else. This was like a lot. This was a lot for Miss Meghan. Next week, we are going to be talking about the true story behind the movie Hustlers. If you don't know what Hustlers is, it's a pretty mediocre movie, but it's about a really interesting story where some strippers basically rob a bunch of guys. So we're going to learn about the true story of that. And let me go ahead and set up our little frickin' game about Meghan. Let's do the clown one because Jimmy Baseball is a clown. Okay, so not the cliffhanger. Sorry about that. Maybe we'll do another Meghan stream. I wish I could have ended on a more like tied up with a bow. Like, I wish we could have ended it with 2024 of her just chilling. But I that was in the news very recently, like after I'd put her on the schedule, so I had to include it. But anyway, if you don't know what this is, at the end of each of my streams, we play a fun little trivia game. It's just for funsies. It's not like a winning or losing thing. So all you have to do... Sorry, my eyeball itches. I did my lashes and I did them like a little bit too close to the waterline. So all you have to do is follow the directions on the screen. I'll put the link in the chat. I don't need your email. I don't need your information. I'm not trying to scam you. It's free, all the things. If you don't want your real name to come up, put in something else. But yeah, I'll let you join our little frickin' game. There's a lot of pictures in this one. I'm assuming this is over the kids, and he has a history of utilizing the courts and law enforcement against her. I hate that she can't speak out. That's how I feel about it, too. Like, normally I'd be like, ooh, you got an order of protection, but, like, she had to get one against him, and it was granted as well, and he called the police on her for nothing before. The situation just seems very off and very weird. Let me look at her Instagram and see what she's posted, actually. Oh, my God, could you possibly be giving me more notifications? Leave me alone. God, Stressful. A lot going on. What was I looking at? Meghan's Instagram. I get so distracted on Instagram. Meghan King. She has a lot of followers. I get your home noticed. She's still in Missouri. She's with Sotheby's. So she posted a fundraiser for Everytown for gun safety. She posted her kids' first day of school. They're arguing with each other. Very normal. She posted some real estate stuff. Like, her Instagram is super not about this at all, obviously. But yeah. She posted that she got her teeth done. She got veneers? Meghan, no. Meghan, no. You didn't need veneers. Entered the game with an obnoxious username. What else is new? Light crowd tonight. I didn't promote this at all this week. I'll give people a few more moments to join. Ugh, this was a long stream. I appreciate everyone getting through it. She's posting memes about her investigative skills. Stream about veneers, please. They kind of freak me out. I don't know if I can. It seems like she does a fair amount of collabs with like beauty things because it's like every time she posts like a beauty thing, it's like with a company or like a collab post. So she's probably getting stuff for free in exchange for post, which is real. Sold a house. She sold a house for $2 million. So let me see what her commission. That was in May. 2,050,000 times. Okay, so like standard commission would be 3%. I'm going to call it 2% because usually on luxury properties they do a commission reduction. She probably also had some costs, so that's just like a guesstimate. She made $41,000 off the sale, roughly. I don't know. She could have had a referral fee. She could have to give to someone else within her brokerage. I don't know. There's a guesstimation. She made roughly 40 grand off of selling this house in May. I don't see a ton of other sales, so it seems like most real estate agents, she has a couple sales sales a couple times a year and kind of lives off of that. But yeah, she looks good. She did a brand with this car dealership and seems like she got a free car. Real estate is a choice. Like, listen, I've done real estate. You can't hate on it. Like it's no one's first choice usually. All right, let's do our little frickin' game. My scalp is itchy. I feel like I have shampoo buildup. I made this question hard. I picked all blonde ladies. Is it normal for real estate agents to rely on commission? Yes, that's very normal. How is the running? Horrible. Thank you for asking. I have been doing it. It hurts very bad and I'm very slow, but hoping that improves soon. It's not getting better, but it is changing. Like at first my feet were killing me. They hurt so bad. Today, feet didn't really hurt. Calves were killing me. So I'm hoping it's just like moving up my body and then I'll be cured of weakness. It's going good though. I'm being consistent with it even though I don't like it. So that's good. What I do like about it, it really clears my head more so than the Peloton because I always end up going on my phone on the Peloton and like working and getting distracted so I don't get that good of a workout in. I used to. I'm just kind of like used to it now, you know? Talk more about your real estate experience. I was never an agent. I worked in a real estate brokerage office. I was like doing office shit, like refilling the printer and making coffee. And then I would also like help the agents with technology. So like we would have workshops and I'd be like, this is how you make flyers. And they would be like, I don't want to do that. And I'd be like, well, then don't complain that you don't get any business. And they'd be like, I don't get any business. And I'd be like, you're not advertising. And then I would help them make like email blast and stuff like that. There's a lot wrong with Jim Edmonds. Sorry, now I'm just reading old social media posts about her. Do you guys know who Darcy Silva is? I wish she would stop getting plastic surgery. It's kind of getting jarring. What was Jim Edmonds doing while Meghan got IVF? You chose the wrong answer, I'm sorry. Why did she leave Real Housewives of Orange County? Man, all my ads are for fucking GLP-1. Leave me alone. Gel nail polish is banned in Europe? What did they do wrong? Or right? Should it be banned here? Probably. How many children does Meghan have with Jimmy Baseball? Y'all are locked in, huh? Who did Meghan marry in 2021? Need more of your thoughts on Teacher Bay. I didn't even realize that was a specific person. I thought, because I've seen people use, oh, I'm Teacher Bay, where they like wear something they like. When I saw the person, I was like, ooh, a lot going on there. What does Meghan do for work? How do you say that? Selkie Doll in first place, Free Meghan, Craft PR, King Behavior, Saturn Cat, Lizzie Beth, Jimmy Ballgame, Kimmy Ballgame, Jimothy Baseball, Finley, Jaundice Balls Game, Amelia Casserole, Barbara, 911 on speed dial, Sammy A, Meg Cutshow, Jimmy's Baseball, Not Jimmy Baseball, Anna, and Miss Hill. Nice job. I will stick around for a few moments for memes, anything I missed. And then that's it. What a long stream. Also, just to give a heads up, because I know some of you really like plan things around this in your work schedules and things like that. I am streaming next week with the Hustlers True Story. The following week, I am going to be having a Monday stream. I will not be streaming on Tuesday the 16th. I will be streaming on Monday the 15th. I have to go out of town for something. More on that later. Nothing bad. I'm helping someone with something. Meghan calling Newport Imaging. At the end of the day, we're all just calling Newport Imaging. Meghan carrying the FBI's entire workload for the love of the game. Meghan investigating Brooke's cancer. Jimmy Baseball is being blackmailed with old penis pics, and it's the second time. I'm a Jimmy Baseball hater. If there are no Jimmy Baseball haters, I'm dead. Exactly. I'll give people a few more moments for their memes. What Meghan thought would happen. Come out, cheater. I feel so bad for her. I hope she's okay. I kind of want to DM her. Should I? We gotta call you cheated on your wife. She was calling for blackmail, you guys. She was postpartum. I don't care if it's crazy. I'm on her side. Because literally, if someone's postpartum, they can be so delusional. And I'm like, and you're right. And you are right. And I'm on your side with you right now. Thank you for being here. This is always a good time. Next week, sorry, this chair makes this horrifying noise. Next week, we'll be talking about the true story behind the movie Hustlers. If you haven't seen the movie, it'll still be good because apparently the movie is not that accurate. So yeah, have a great night, and I will see you